All right, fellow have and have not fans, I'm here with another video. This one is going to be a review of last night's episode, and I have to say that I was not disappointed in the least, because if you wanted to follow the link in the description below to my video about last night's predictions, where I did a video predicting what would happen in the episode that came on last night, I was almost 100% spot on if I wasn't mistaken. And I love the episode not because my predictions were spot on, but just because this was another episode where there wasn't any wasted time. It was pretty much right to the point. Everybody felt like they played a part, some hilarious, some drama, and some pretty much foreshadowing. Now I have to say that my favorite part out of the entire episode was the fact that not only did we get to see Erica back in the series, but the fact that her and Candace had some dialogue that really reminded me of how my mother and I discussed the have and have nots ever since season 1, where we literally go back and forth, trying to connect the dots to make these theories and predictions. So again, that was really great to see, just because again, it was reminding me of myself and my mother in terms of coming up with theories and predictions about where the show will go. Now, the most surprising moment of the show for me was probably, now I got to think about this one, it's a little tough. I would have to say the portion of the show where we get to see Wyatt and Hannah having a heart-to-heart about God. I mean, we saw it coming based off the previews, but again, it was just good to see Wyatt finally getting some sense, not beating into him, but planting into him. You know how they say, you plant that seed of faith and hopefully it'll grow into a tree. Well, I mean, the same happened to Jim last season, even though of course he has a long way to go before he goes to repentance. But in any case, it's great to see Wyatt finally getting some medicine that he needs. It's not $12 million, it's not drugs. We're talking about good old-fashioned, Christian love there. And I hope that Hannah's words don't go unheard. I mean, the preview for next week shows that he's in the Sarandon Hotel with some drugs again, most likely going to invite some girls over. Wyatt has a long way to go, but I'm just glad to see that he did have an opportunity to hear some good Christian spirit right there. So I really did like that. Crystal Fox really killed that role right there. Great acting. I loved it. And another part was the beginning of the episode where we have Maggie Day flat out lying to David. And given the fact that he said that he wouldn't speak to her anymore, she lied to him about, her following Veronica around, having the photos, knowing that it was his truck that Benny and Veronica were having the affair in. I think it goes without saying that Maggie Day is not going to take the morning after pill, and the pregnancy is going to be her way of David talking to her again. It's like, hey, if you don't want to talk to me again, I'm going to have your child, and there's nothing you can do about it. Which leads me to a theory that I will not discuss now, but I will make a video about, because I want to keep this video strictly about the episode itself, just reviewing the scene. So again, I will be making a video about a theory involving Maggie and David and this potential child. Moving on to the next scene. Pearl, the nosy neighbor, finally somebody told her off Quita. I mean, that scene right there was just hilarious, and the fact that they saw Candace coming out of the house. It makes me wonder if Candace didn't come out to her car to get her purse, would Quita and the other guy not even come back to the location, or what? Because without Candace coming out, confirming that Quincy would have some kind of reason of going in there, they might not have come back. But they said they're going to go in there at one point, just to storm through the house, which might not occur maybe for another 1 or 2 episodes, give or take, just because Justin has to come by, see what's going on, and I'm pretty sure they're going to scout out the situation before coming back again. Now, in terms of, let's see here, Catherine getting out of prison, that was a good scene, or excuse me, jail, that was another good scene as well, just because it is kind of weird seeing Catherine in the dark about a lot of things in terms of, what really happened to Wyatt, who had him raped in the prison, as well as, what the heck is going on for Veronica and Benny. So just seeing her back in action again definitely does. It was just great to see, because again, Catherine Cryer is on the prowl, and she literally made it known to those judges, hey, you turn your back on me now. Once my family gets through this, and we will get through this, there's going to be some hell to pay. So I'm really looking forward to that, because next week it looks like there's going to be the bail hearing for Veronica and Jim. So again, we have a lot to look forward to in next week's episode. But getting back to this week's episode, just thinking of a number of other scenes there. We get to see Mitch, at the tow yard. and David pulls up because, just as I predicted before, even though David doesn't know who was in the picture, he knows that it was the owner of the tow company that Veronica was fooling around with. So, Mitch, called up Benny real quickly, and I would say, even though the scene between Erica and Candace talking about the connecting the dots was my favorite scene overall, I'd say the funniest scene was most likely Benny getting the call from David, and they're having their words because he wants to talk. Benny's not having it. But next week, the two finally, meet face to face, and they get into some kind of physical altercation. Because again, I said that in this episode, there's too much going on for them to meet up and then fight. So we know it's happening next week. And just the dialogue between the two is just hilarious. Because again, it goes back to, I find it ironic as well as a little humorous that Benny got arrested in the car that Candace blackmailed Jim for, which David planted drugs in for her to get arrested. Benny got caught instead, and he had no problem after finding out that he was Candace's brother of leaving him in prison to rot. Veronica was the one to get him out of jail, and the two having an affair now, I just find it hilarious because, again, it just goes to show that everything goes around full circle in this show. So we know that the two are going to meet. I don't know how or why they're going to. I mean, we know why they're going to meet, but I wonder how, because Benny wasn't having it. So I'm wondering, how has he ended up at the campaign office? Does David sick the Malones on him? Does Benny just swallow his pride and go? I just really want to see how that goes down. Now, to sum it all up, Landon, I don't know, because just hearing Erica and Candace try to connect the dots there, some things didn't add up while some things did, because Erica was really clever to figure out, Jim had nothing to do with this. You got to think a little lower. But I think she thought a little too low when she mentioned the social worker, because all she knew was the fact that Catherine got a judge in favor of Hannah to get custody of little Q. So again, that was pretty much the maximum amount of knowledge that she knew that she was withholding. So it was kind of sad seeing her get beat down like that, because again, Candace just got beat into an inch of her life by Quincy. Now, after that, you would think she would know how it would feel for Aaliyah to get beaten down like that. So it really just goes to show that I try to be a forgiving person, but for Candace, she doesn't learn, and I literally have no remorse for her character at this point, because again, after everything she's been through, she has not learned a thing. And it's just, wow. Because imagine if she doesn't get the money, what Warlock is going to do to her. So, again, I just hope Aaliyah, she's going to be alive, no doubt. She is alive, but she's not going to walk out of there in one piece, which makes me wonder if Pearl was nosing around and saw Aaliyah walk in there, but comes out limping, bloodied and whatnot. What's she going to do about it? So, again, the episode ended on a rather low note, given the fact that Aaliyah was being beaten down into the ground, but it's obvious that she knows nothing about Oscar. Landon, on the other hand, remember that he was the one to look up Oscar's information and show it to Candace. So, I don't know. We all know it comes down to David, but, I'm wondering if Landon did play a role that we didn't even know about. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, we got her going after the social worker, then Landon, but still not connecting the dots to David. So, I'm wondering if she's actually going to find out. I'm just glad that her anger isn't directed at Jim, but it seems that she's a little furious at Catherine for having the judge speak in Hannah's favor. So, with that being said, I did enjoy the episode. I'm just thinking back to make sure I didn't miss anything. Jennifer Salison, wow, I just wonder if she would be talking so tough to Veronica and Jim if they weren't behind those jail, bars in the cell. So, I wonder if everything's going to work out in her favor for the bail hearing. So next week, I'm definitely looking forward to. So I just wanted to take a few moments at the end of this video just to thank everyone so far who has watched my videos, liked it, subscribed to the channel, commented in the comment section below. I do read those comments now. If you've retweeted the video, commented on Twitter, anything you do to support this YouTube channel, because I'm not making a thin dime from this. I've basically condense my Have and Have Not blog to a vlog or video format, just because I can make these videos a lot faster than the blogs I used to make. And because, again, I just love the show. I'm just a fan. I don't work for Tyler Perry. I don't work for OWN. I would love to someday, or, do this as a career, just making these video updates, theories, and predictions, because I love discussing these kind of topics with other addicts of the have and the have-nots like myself. So with that being said, I will see you all in the next video, but please subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment, let me know what you think about the video so far. Are there things you like? Are there things you wish that I can improve on? Because those comments are what help me make these even better with each and every video. So with that being said, again, you all have a wonderful night, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next theory video involving Maggie Day, David, as well as who might get shot in Veronica's house.